Hey guys, you know what it is, man. It's You Heard Pod. Ben holding it down solo today, man. My big brother Joe's a little bit under the weather. So, what I'm saying, gotta do this solo. Thought about getting a guest co-host. It was just a little too late in the day, man. So hold it down by myself, man. Let's get this intro going and talk about this spring practice, man. Kicked off Saturday. Let's go.
Welcome to the You Heard Podcast.
I'm hurt, dog.
Ben and Joe break down all things Miami Hurricanes football.
Hey guys, what's going on, man? Hey man, make sure you guys leave in the comments what your impressions of the first day of spring practice was. Who stood out to you? Who you thought looked exactly the same? Obviously, they're in t-shirt, basically in a jersey and shorts and a helmet. You know what I'm saying? They haven't even started hitting yet. They're not even the shells. So we got to see how they evolve. I'll tell you guys my first impression. I thought Emory Williams looked huge as a true freshman. I thought he looked impressive throwing into the net. You know what I'm saying? Throwing the little out route. I thought Jakari Brown didn't get as much shine as I thought he deserved. I think he looked a lot more accurate. I think he looked more consistent. If you guys remember last year, this is a pure layman, right? Like y'all know me, man. Didn't play football, just a pure fan looking at it. It always looked like his release point varied a little bit too much, right? But you got to think about it. He had two different quarterback coaches, basically, because you had Josh Gaddis telling him one thing, Frank Ponce telling him another. So he was getting mixed messaging coming in as a true freshman, expecting to be confident in ball and play, which he should have never played in the first place. You know, with the injuries to TVD, the inconsistencies from Jake, he was pushed a little bit too early. So the criticism I always thought was unfair to him because he should have never been playing in the first place. But we just didn't have depth, had to play a true freshman. That is what it is. I thought he looked more consistent. I thought he looked more confident. But that has to go to the fact that he has one voice in that room now. The offensive coordinator is the quarterback coach. How it should have always been. You can't have the signal caller getting coaching from a different person that's calling the fucking plays. That's crazy to me. But you know what I mean? I thought TVD looked more confident in his press conference because it's hard for anybody to be like, oh, TVD or Jakari or these people, that's it. They're going to ball out. They're going to throw for 6,000 yards when all they did was a press conference and you got to see a couple minutes of video here and there from the reporters that did the phenomenal job of giving us that insight and that view that we wouldn't get otherwise, right? Like we're so quick to criticize the media. And I guess you can, what I'm saying, call this a media, that we forget that like without them posting these videos, we would have no idea what they look like. All you would hear is like secondhand from other podcasts. I'm saying, like myself, me reaching out to my people, and finding out things, but you wouldn't get to see the video, so you can make the judgment for yourself. I thought Emery looked good. I thought Emery looked big. Can't tell you how good he looks yet. Has not really, running any plays. We don't know what the offensive defenses are going to look like. I thought just size wise, I thought Kobe Young looked phenomenal. As far as changing his body up, that's one thing that, like, yeah, if y'all know me, man, I've talked about this before. I just never saw players' bodies change and grow as they got older. Like we've all gotten. Look, I'm 38, about to be 39. As I grew, my body changed. Right, like I got muscles in places I didn't have muscles before. And things like that. So to see these players where their bodies never changed, and you hear it from last year, a Taylor, 56, talking about, I'm now realizing what I got to put in my body, when he had already been here before. Been here for a couple years. It lets you know that the seriousness of this football program wasn't where it needed to be. I don't know if we think about that or we talk about that enough as a fan base to be like, oh yeah, Taylor, just realized that he shouldn't be eating garbage and trying to change his body up. And you saw the difference of how he got better throughout the year as he changed his diet, worked on himself and things like that. Like they shouldn't be learning that in their second or third year. There should have been a program that should have been instilled, but those are failures of a different staff. But yeah, man, I thought Emory looked, back to that. I thought Emory had good size. I thought Jakari didn't get the respect that he deserved from the little bit that we saw. I thought his arm angles and his release point looked consistent. I'll have to ask Malik about that, see if he agrees with that, because I think Jakari next year is gonna ball, man. I think Jakari is something is something that's gonna be that we're gonna talk about. Like, oh shit, like we got something here. I remember we pulled like he stuck with us through the recruitment last year. He was an early guy, early commit, and Mario closed, make sure to seal the deal with that, man. So yeah, man, it's gonna be some work, and I'm excited to see what this offense is gonna look like. We're all talking air raid and things like that, but we haven't seen anything yet. We're not gonna see anything in the spring. You're only gonna get those few minute clips till game one. We're really not gonna know. Actually, might not know anything either that one because I think it's like a cupcake, and then we play Texas A&M, so might not see this offense for real till game two. So any criticisms you hear about drop balls and things like that, that's stuff to keep an eye on. And you know what I'm saying, as far as what the reporters tell you, but as far as understanding of how the plays are going to be called and what plays certain players like and things like that, that's going to take some time. So got to be patient with that, man. Another big thing that happened for spring is a lot of number changes. So shout out to the big homie Manny Navarro, man, for from you know what I'm saying, the Athletic, formerly Miami Herald, just everywhere. Been covering this team for like 20 something plus years. So he, you know what I'm saying, he posted on his Twitter that the new arrivals for the Miami Hurricanes, quarterback Emery Williams, let me see, yeah, quarterback Emery Williams is number 17. Shout out to Stephen Morris, you know what I'm saying, the former number 17 that I remember. Nathaniel Ray Joseph is number 5. Robbie Washington, yo, shout out to Joe, man. Receiver Robbie, he's right about that one. Is number 12. His brother, his twin Bobby Washington is 17. Francisco Maigoa, older brother of Francis, is 51. Jaden Wayne, the incoming freshman from IMG, is number 18. Ruben Bain, the should have been the National Player of the Year 5-star, just because he's not tall enough. Fuck out of here. Is number 14. Malik Bryant, number 24, who I think with zero, like, hey man, what do you think about this guy reaching out to anybody on the inside? I just think he's gonna grow and get bigger to be a freak on the end. I think he's just gonna be a baller of a defensive end on the other side of a Nigel Lee Kelly or I think Ruben Bain ends up moving to the inside. Again, haven't spoken to nobody, just how I see them moving, how I see them playing, right? I think Malik Bryant's gonna be on the other side of Nigel Lee Kelly and Jaden Wayne. I think that's gonna be special. I think that young man is somebody you got to get on the field. Devontae Brown, the incoming transfer from UCF, is wearing number 7. Caleb Spencer, who Cam Kinchens already gave a shout out to in his press conference, saying that he's pushing him. You know what I'm saying? Talking that talk, which I love. I love somebody who talks shit and tries to get in your head, man, and tries to push you. Already a freshman that just changed. That already shows you the difference of players that we got from previous seasons. Again, it's all talk now, and we, you know what I'm saying, things like that. But I already love it. I already love somebody coming in confident that he could talk to an All American safety. Terry Roberts, the 5th or 6th year senior from Iowa, the transfer, is wearing number 25. So yeah, man, and it was also a lot of number changes for former players. Now I don't know how you guys feel about it. It's obviously can get a little confusing when you could remember a player by wearing a certain number, but I actually like it. Look, man, we were a 5-7 team. We were a team that's been struggling for the a good portion of all these players' career at the U. So for them to change their numbers, to me, I'm a big believer in energy and switching, you know what I'm saying, saging shit and cleaning shit out. You know what I'm saying, detoxing yourself from shit like that. So they're changing their numbers to hopefully put out better performances and push this program in the direction that it needs to be. Not saying that they're going to go 10-2 or some wild outlandish shit like that. I'm just saying I think that they're doing this for a fresh start themselves, right? Because they were on the field and heard all the criticism and put out those performances and those struggles. So the one thing that they could control is changing their number and their performances on the field. So if they could start with changing their number, I'm all about it, man. So you got, excuse me, you got Corey Couch changing from 23 to 0, who by all accounts might be our starting corner. You got Brashard Smith changing from 12 to 0, who should hopefully have a good solid year in that slot, man, with this incoming offensive coordinator and Shannon Dawson. Daryl Porter, cornerback, might be on the other side of it to Corey Couch if he doesn't lose the spot to a Chris Graves or Damari Brown or Devontae Brown. So you got the reporter changing from 5 to 2. Akeem Mesidor's big ass got going from monster over human being going from 90 to 3. That three is gonna look mad small on the back of his jersey, right? Like unless that font they expanded a little more, that three might look crazy, but he's gonna ball out. Kobe Young, whose body has changed more than I've seen any other player at that position change, goes from 88 to 4. That 4 is gonna look mad small on his back. Cam Kitchens changes from 24 to his childhood number of 5. Nigel Lee Kelly, changes from 32 to 9. Michael Redding, who I'm hoping has a breakout year at the receiver spot. Maybe that guy on the outside that we needed is going from 83 to 13. And finally, safety Markeith Williams changes from 18 to 15. I like the changes. I'm all about it. I like the change of energy, hopefully a change in mentality, a change in process and preparation. And I'm excited about it, man. It's just a gesture to some people, but to me, sometimes you got to switch it up, man. You got to feng shui. Sometimes you got to feng shui your life, man. Clean certain things out, move certain things, and if the one thing they could do was change their numbers, that's I'm all about it. All right, guys, it's gonna obviously gonna be a quick pod. I'm holding it down today, so we got to get into our advertiser here in Caneswear. Shout out to them, man. As you can see, I'm always repping right here the shirt, the hat. As you know, got a big ass head. I can't wear the hat, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna make sure it's up there because it'll sit up top and it just looks weird. And I'm not trying to get I'm not trying to get clowned on my own podcast. Let's go. Hey man, you know what it is, man. Look, we had one person comment on our YouTube. Yo, man, we trying to give y'all free money, man. What's happening with this? We had one person comment on our YouTube. Shout out to King Juice 305, man. You are our winner for the last podcast as you dropped the keyword twice. I see what you did there, man. Trying to make sure we saw N in capital. Shout out to you, man. So make sure you hit us up on our DM at You Heard Pod on Twitter. Send us your email so we can send it over to the big homie Brett. Make sure we get you locked in there, and at checkout you get a $10 gift card. All right, man. So King Juice 305, man. Salute to you, man. All right, guys. So this week's keyword, man. This week's keyword we'll announce the winners on Wednesday or for Thursday's show. Hopefully Joe will be back, man, in good health and good spirits. You know what I'm saying? We'll hold it down then, and we'll announce our winners for the $25 gift card since we hit 600 subscribers, and two $10 gift cards. If one person, check it, man. If one person comments the keyword that I'm about to drop right here, you will get a $45 gift card because you won it. That's it. You're the one. I'm saying that's how we're gonna do it. If you're gonna keep missing out on the possibility for free money, man, it's just what it is. So this week's keyword is spring. Look, man, we keep it simple here, man. I'm not trying to trick you into some, just like, oh, what word did they say? The spring practice started, so the keyword is spring. So make sure you drop it in the comments. Hit us up on our Twitter at Ben Kanan84, at Joe Skiddings for the big homie, or at You Heard Pod. All right, guys, look, man, we started a new segment last podcast called Forgotten Canes, which, brainstorming this on the pod, we might have to change because this is not a play that most of us have forgotten. You know what I'm saying? So we might have to change it to Kane's Flowers or something. Remember this Kane, something like that. We're brainstorming the name live on the show. We'll see what's popping with that. But this week's Forgotten Kane, since we're sticking with that for right now, is
defensive tackle spots and make life miserable for a quarterback. That one's caught by Coley. Coley in the open field. You can forget about it. Stacy Coley will take it the distance. 81 yards. Touchdown, Miami. And lightning strike.
Hey, man, Stacy Coley was a baller here at the U, man. Let me just run down these stats. He was here from 2013 to 2016. Over 2,200 yards, 166 receptions, 20 touchdowns, 3,800 all-purpose yards, and 2 return TDs. He had a punt return and a kick return for a touchdown. Stacy Coley was that guy, man. Look, you could go on YouTube right now, search his name, and watch those highlights, man. We'll just give you a little something about what he did here at the U, man. He was here at a time when we didn't have that many receivers. He balled out. He did amazing things. He would always adjust to the ball. You could remember plays in the corner of the end zone, adjusting, adjusting off of a back shoulder. Had great body position, body control. Stacy Coley was a guy that I remember. So he's not forgotten. He's he's honored, he's remembered. And look, man, you gotta think about it. I mean, we're Canes fans, so we're like, oh, why wouldn't he come to the U? He didn't have to, right? Like a lot of players during our struggle time, man, could have gone anywhere else, could have balled out at bigger or better programs during that time, during that era. But he came here, balled out, man, and gave us the best he had, man. So Stacey Coley, man, salute to you, man. Thank you so much for wearing this you on your helmet and honoring this program, man. You are appreciated, man, and yeah, we keep it going just like that, man. So Forgotten King number 2, Stacey Coley. We're gonna keep this going. We might have to do a deeper cut on the next show, but we'll see what happens with that, man. All right, guys. Last segment, man. Too early predictions. I'm not giving y'all a prediction. That's not what I do here. Because this roster isn't done. This team isn't done. The offensive and defensive coordinators just got started, just got here. We just hired our wide receiver coach like 3 days ago. And he's already in the building, you know what I'm saying, on Green Tree again for the third time in Kevin Beard. So I'm seeing fans and you know what I'm saying, media and people like that already dropping their predictions. I was like, I don't even know who the starting wide receivers are going to be. Quarterback's locked in, right? Like that's not even like, oh, but no, it's TVD. Let's just keep it right there. So you don't know who the offensive line is going to be. You got Jalen Rivers starting at left tackle. Any of y'all see that? I didn't see that shit coming. I didn't see Jalen Rivers starting at left tackle. Did you? Because if you did, you might know some shit. You might know some shit that nobody else knows. I didn't see that coming. I had Jalen Rivers coming in that guard or something. Maybe center. You know what I'm saying? Somewhere on the field. But Zion Nelson still recovering from injury. Akeem Mesidor recovering from injury. James Williams recovering from off-season shoulder surgery that he played hurt all last season. There's a lot of Don Chaney hopefully getting back healthy. Trevante Citizen not even participating in spring because he tore his knee all the fuck up in fall practice. There's too many moving parts. There's too many moving staff members, and to even get into a prediction. So, and you're not even gonna know what this offense really looks like till maybe game 2, 3, and 4. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of moving parts, seeing what players are comfortable with, the defense, how the defense is going to look. Is it aggressive? How are they going to react to it? There's too many things, right? Like not even going to get into the whole debate of talent versus coaching. It's a whole new coaching staff basically. Got new offensive coordinator, new wide receiver coach, new quarterback coach, which is the offensive coordinator. You have a brand new defensive line coach since Rod Wright left. You have a new linebacker coach in Derek Nicholson. You have a new defensive coordinator. It's a lot of new voices, man. It's a lot of new voices in that room. And to put out a prediction like something's gonna happen, I got nothing for you, fam. It's spring and they've only had one spring practice, and y'all ready to say they're going 8-4, 9-3, 7-5, 5-7, 6-6, 10-2, any of that? It's too early, fam. Take a breath. Understand that this is being built in the way Mario Cristobal sees it, whether you agree with it or not, the way you agree with it or not, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if I agree with it or not, because Mario's the one building it. If you've had a chance to check out his interview with 247 with I'm saying Andrew Ivins and the other guy that I can't remember the name of, I thought he was honest as a coach can be. You know what I mean? About changing the energy, changing the voices in the room. You know, the coaches are going to come and go, but you want to make sure you hit on the guys you want. Watch his press conference, see what he says. Coach speak is going to be coach speak. So, but sometimes you got to hear little things in there when players speak too. Like, oh, it's nice that they listen. It's nice the energy is different, and I I assume like it can't be any worse than last year, right? Like when you're in the room and somebody's telling you that you're trash, it's not exactly somebody you're gonna want to fight hard for. Let's just keep it a buck. I'm not gonna bust my ass for a manager or supervisor telling me that I'm a piece of shit. I'm like, oh man, I guess I should do everything you tell me to do, huh? Well, if you already think I'm a piece of shit, I'm like, you know what? Fuck you too, bro. Like, that's what we doing here. All right, guys. Hey man, short and sweet, man. Holding it down by myself. My big brother Joe, man. Hope you're feeling better, man. Hope you get better. We'll talk soon. I'm gonna hit you up after this, but you're probably already sleeping. But I'm gonna hit you up tomorrow though when this pod drops. All right, guys. I got nothing else for you, man. Peace. And you already know what it is, man. It's the You Heard podcast. We out. Bam.